But we're gonna be in the multicultural fair in Central Office April 8th. You're gonna go see. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. That was
April
wonderful.
8th.
Thank you.
Así como el lado de allá. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, it is now 6:01 and we are out of closed executive session and we will now reconvene the regular meeting of the Board of Education with the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Dieselmeyer.
Here.
Mr. Herrera.
Here.
Mr. Hemke.
Here.
Mrs. Howe.
Here.
Mr. Mueller.
Here.
Mr. Piggy.
Here.
Mrs. Young.
Okay, before we start the regular meeting of the board, as a reminder, all board members are expected to follow our approved meeting norms and board protocol. Are there any items on the agenda any member of the board would like to amend or move? Okay. Here are none. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda of the regular meeting of the Board of Education on January 20th, 2026 as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Member Piggy made the motion. Member Hauk seconded the motion to approve the agenda of the regular meeting of the Board of Education on January 20th, 2026 as presented. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Piggy.
Aye.
Mrs. Howe.
Aye.
Mr. Dieselmeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Hemke.
Here.
Mr. Mueller. Mrs. Howe.
You already asked.
I got you. Mrs. Howe.
Young.
Mrs. Young. I'm so sorry.
I threw you off.
Mr. Herrera.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Well. Okay.
You have to turn it over here for boards.
Okay. We will now have our district celebrations, and I would like to turn this portion of the meeting over to Dr. Shug.
Right, we have a number of really fantastic celebrations today. And we're going to start with Belvedere North High School. I thought I saw several members of the North team here. We want to congratulate Belvedere North High School, which has been named to the 2025 AP School Honor Roll at the bronze level. This is the first time that Belvedere North High School is being recognized for this award. The AP School Honor Roll recognizes schools whose advanced placement programs are delivering strong results while expanding access and participation for students. This recognition reflects the school's commitment to building a college-going culture, providing opportunities for students to earn college credit, and supporting college readiness. Schools may earn AP School Honor Roll recognition annually at one of 4 levels based on meeting or exceeding criteria across 3 key metrics, college culture, college credit, and college optimization. To qualify for the 2025 AP School Honor Roll, schools must meet the criteria for recognition level in all three metrics. Huge congratulations to the students, staff, and administration at Belvedere North High School on this well-earned recognition. We are so proud of the hard work and dedication demonstrated each day as students prepare for success beyond high school. Did you want to say anything, Mr. Friesma, or anything from your team?
Yeah, could I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously brought a couple teachers with as well, of our AP teachers, and we've seen a lot of growth in our success over the last few years. A lot thanks to their dedication, trying to prepare our students for the test and pushing them into taking the class. Some kids are a little nervous going into it. One thing the district does is they greatly reduce the cost of the test, which is what provides the access to our students. All right. The test is around $90. I think our students pay $15. So by cutting that cost, that's what makes it so accessible for so many of our kids. How we get so many of them take the test. We found out the more they take it, now we're having more and more success with it too. So appreciate the district's commitment to helping us out with that and support the kids and our staff in the right way. So thank you.
Ms. Hadley's coming up for another one.
Oh, yeah, stay up there. There's more pictures to be had.
I just noticed. I've re-observed today.
Subtle, it's subtle. All right. Huge congratulations to North High School on that. It really is an impressive honor and especially exciting because they've been working really hard on this, and to see that accomplished this year is really fantastic. We now are going to move on to our Golden Apple Foundation Golden Apple Award finalists. We are also so very proud of these individuals. Congratulations to our finalists: Leyde Bilbao Lori, Belvedere South Middle School; John Deary, Belvedere High School; Sean Donnelly, Belvedere High School; and Andrea Waldman, Belvedere North High School. These outstanding educators truly exemplify what it means to learn, innovate, and lead every day by supporting students, inspiring colleagues, and strengthening our school community. These teachers will be observed in their classrooms by trained community volunteers on 4 separate occasions between January 20th and February 18th. The process culminates with the selection of 5 teachers who will receive the prestigious Golden Apple Award in March in surprise classroom presentations. We are very, very proud of being this far in the process. It truly is a rigorous process, and we are really excited to have you all here this evening. So please come on up to accept our congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations and good luck on the next round. And we also have some individuals who've been nominated by their peers for going above and beyond in D100. We want to recognize them for board shout outs. And thank you all out there for continuing to send your shout outs in so we can continue to celebrate some of the great things going on in our classrooms and in our schools. First is Karen Villafuerte Santiago. There she is. Come on up. She's from Washington. Mrs. Villafuerte promotes a safe and engaging classroom environment for her students. I can tell a huge difference in my daughter's comfort level when it comes to speaking Spanish, all thanks to Mrs. Villafuerte. She encourages her students to embody their roots and helps them practice as much as possible. I can tell she has her students' best interest at heart. Thank you so much and congratulations. Megan Zanacco was not able to be here with us this evening, but she's at South Middle School. Megan has returned to South Middle School this school year as our SEEDS teacher. From the supportive classroom she has created to the way she partners with parents, her passion for education is felt by everyone. Megan brings such extensive knowledge in special education, but more than that, she cares so deeply for the kids she works with each day. It is a privilege to work with her each day and witness the incredible growth her students are making in her classroom. So congratulations to Megan Zanacco. And we have our a shout out for our D100 tech team, Tyler Bell, Richard Bennett, Robert Hunter, David Kenny, Andrew Lambaron, Adam Smith, Chris Stein, and Linda Weber. Come on up. Our D100, yeah, we can plot. I'll read it too. Our D100 Tech Department has gone above and beyond to support our ICT team and staff members across the district. They have responded to issues quickly and efficiently and have reached out to meet with our team to help problem solve. We are so grateful for their collaboration and support, and they do great work in so many different capacities. It's really great to have this opportunity to recognize them as well. So congratulations. Right, and again, congratulations to all of our board shout outs and celebrations. So much to be proud of in this month of January, this cold, cold month of January. And that's it for our shout outs.
At this time, I would like to invite any board member who would have anything or would like to give a shout out to anybody. Ernie?
I just want to take a minute to recognize the work that Dr. Carson is doing on the portrait of a graduate. I went to the meeting last week and was very impressed with how many different constituent groups were involved, how the input was gathered, and you can start to see things shape already. So, nice work.
And I just want to double down on that and say it really was spectacular. And Dr. Carson arranged for student facilitators for all of the combined community stakeholder groups, and they were so very impressive. And that is no small feat, bringing that number of people and stakeholders together and having the students really exercise their voice and opportunity to facilitate that was incredible to see. So nice work.
Anyone else have a board shout out? Okay. Moving on, we will now have our board committee reports, starting with the business services on January 12th. Mrs. Hauk, do you have anything you would like to highlight or share from the business services committee minutes?
I did. We're talking about a lot of these things tonight. The audio enhancement RFP. I just wanted to show Brent Warren from Nexus was there, and I think he's here tonight, right? To answer any questions we have tonight about that. He gave us a lot of good information. And also down on other matters, the EAB. I know we received a concern about this, so I just wanted to point it out. In the notes, we put admin will share more information with unions to push out to their members so that all of our members can use that. And I think that was a concern, but we did talk about it at that meeting, and they were going to work with the union leaders to get that information to our staff so they could take advantage of it as well. That's all.
Yeah, Holly. Does anybody have any questions for Mrs. Hauk or Mrs. Armstrong?
I do want to reiterate that starting in February, we will be rotating our business services meeting. So next month on February 3rd, it will be held still at 4 o'clock, but it will be at Seth Whitman Elementary School. And we will have tours available of the buildings starting between 4:45 and 5 o'clock. So as we rotate each month to a new location, we will try to stick to that same time frame of 4:45 to 5 o'clock to start building tours. If anyone in the public would like to come to those meetings, you don't have to stay for the whole meeting, but sometime between 4:45 and 5 o'clock, we will be taking a tour of the buildings that we are.
Thank you, Mrs. Armstrong. Any questions again for Mrs. Hauck or Mrs. Armstrong? Okay. At this time, members of the public and employees of District 100 may make public comments. As a reminder, any person appearing before the board is expected to address the board only at the appropriate time and follow the directives of the board president to maintain order and decorum, identify oneself, limit comments to 3 minutes, and conduct oneself with respect towards others, and abide by board policy 8:30, visitors to and conduct on school property. First up is Pamela Zoe Norwood.
Ms. Ashton, here's the packet
Okay, thank you.
and copy. And then extra wrap cards on the bottom.
Thank you.
Should I speak from there?
Yep, right from the podium.
Yeah, my name, well, it'll be okay, don't worry. My name is Zoe Norwood, and I'm on the Rockford Women's Suffrage Plaza Steering Committee. In the packets that I brought, you'll find a folded copy of this speech, including email addresses. The Rockford Women's Suffrage Plaza is an artwork located at 200 Wide Boulevard on the riverfront behind the Rockford YMCA. It is a mosaic sculpture, a community project, and a visual representation of local and national history of voting rights for women and all people. It emphasizes the importance of voting and the roles of local and national women who are suffragists and civil rights leaders. The sculpture was designed by artist Susan Burton and was created by over 200 local people in 2020 and 2021, celebrating the 100th anniversary of women's suffrage. We created a 42-page activity book, piece by piece, which tells the story of the plaza and its construction. The activity book answers these questions. What can we learn about voting rights and suffrage? Who were the suffragists and activists of our region and nationwide? What is the importance of voting for our community and our nation? What is the 19th Amendment? What is the Civil Rights Act of 1964? Why is the sculpture a mosaic, and what does that mean? The activity book also contains puzzles, word searches, a glossary, a suffrage timeline, and biographies of local and national suffragists and activists. Our steering committee offers talks on site at the plaza or in the classroom with illustrations. Teachers in history and art classes can use the activity book as part of lessons on the importance of voting, women in history, and mosaic art. Activity books are available by contacting Barbara Simon or Martha Burns. The cost is $5 each or $4 each for 20 or more. Free tours with guide can be scheduled by email. Your packets include a rat card, bookmark, and especially each includes an activity book, which we hope you will pass on to the appropriate people in your district. We welcome the opportunity to talk to groups of students or adults in the classroom or on a visit to the Rockford Women's Suffrage Plaza. There's more info in rockfordsuffrageplaza.com, and thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Norwood.
Thank you very much.
Okay, would Mr. Matt Zickert come up?
Thank you. Originally, I wasn't going to come tonight. I was going to take the night off, which doesn't happen very often in the last 10 or 15 years. But I got a phone call about Perry, and that obviously motivated me enough to come, at least for the first very part of this. But I'll get to that in a minute. Two other things I wanted to say is whoever's idea it was for this entertainment and before the board meeting, I may be critical of a lot of things, but that was a great idea and still is. A lot of diversity, a lot of great things. I think it's very, very positive. The other thing I'd like to congratulate Belvedere North on their AP scores. Mr. Freemson had told me about that at the car wash a little while ago, back a month or so ago. And as critical as I am about some of our test scores, how we do academically, that's a positive step in the right direction. And whether I think we should have been doing that before or not is immaterial. The fact that we're doing it now is very important. And hopefully we can build on that and get even better. And I'm sure they're moving us in the right direction. We will get a lot better. Back to Perry. We voted well over, it was probably a year ago or more ago, to do something with Perry. And then I get pictures on the mold on the walls. We've talked about fixing the roof for at least 5 years now. And we have mold on the walls and things like that. And the roof still hasn't been fixed 5 years later. Then I hear that there was all alleged that they were told that nothing's going to happen for a year or two there, that we're not going to do anything. So that'll be, 3 years after we voted to do that? And some of you people were on the board then. I mean, I take that personally, like, okay, we know that we really didn't want that outcome to happen, so we're going to wait them out, and hopefully, we can change the outcome on that. Whether that's true or not, that's how it begins to look after a while when you look at it like that. The other part I wanted to talk briefly on was finances. I mean, I've talked about how our budgetary problems were going to happen. Lo and behold, they have. I said for a while back the federal government wasn't going to give us as much money. They're probably not. I told us that we have a $142 million budget for 7,000 kids, but 15 years ago we had an $85 million budget for 9,300 kids. So the money's there. I mean, we have plenty of money. I still think it's a priority of spending. And then I see the RFPs on there, and it brings back fond memories of our facilities plan study for $600,000 that maybe we were a little misled on when we did that as a board back in the day, and some of you will remember that fondly back in the day. I also look at how we spend money. I mean, we spent $500,000, to have a project manager for a project manager on the stuff we haven't even done yet. Now, when we do all that stuff, that's $1 million. That's a lot of money. We talk about being 16 million in a hole now. Rockford's 13 million. They have a $500 million budget. Ours is 142 million. So I think we need to really look at our priorities in spending. And we also need to look at who told us that teacher contract was doable and we wouldn't have any problem with that. And how much money have we spent on things in the 4 years of that teacher contract that have nothing to do or that don't directly touch kids? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zickert. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board at this time? Okay, none. Next on the agenda is our consent agenda items. Are there any items on the consent agenda any member of the board would like to take out for separate consideration? Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Second.
Okay, Member Hauk made the motion and Member Piggy seconded the motion to approve consent agenda items 2 through 15 as presented. Discussion? Okay, at this time, I'd like to acknowledge the following donations. $150 from First United Methodist Church of Belvedere for Lincoln Elementary School and Perry Elementary School. School supplies from Belvedere Women's Club for Washington Academy. $100 from Boone County Conservation District for Belvedere North High School a cappella. $200 donation from Belvedere IOU Club for Belvedere North High School choralayers. And $250 donation from Belvedere North High School Music Boosters Association for the Belvedere North High School Music Department. Okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Hauk.
Aye.
Mr. Piggy.
Aye.
Mr. Dieselmeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Hemke.
Aye.
Mrs. Young. Aye. Mr. Mueller. Mr. Herrera.
Aye. Okay, next on the agenda is our roll call items. Banking Services RFP. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the award of the Banking Services RFP to First Mid Bank and Trust? Okay, Member Hauk made the motion and Member Piggy seconded the motion to approve the award of the Banking Services RFP to First Mid Bank and Trust. Discussion? Okay, and just so you know, I will be abstaining from this because my employer was part of this RFP, so I will be abstaining, just so we know when we get to roll call. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Hauk.
Aye.
Mr. Piggy.
Aye.
Mr. Dieselmeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Hemke.
Aye.
Mrs. Young. Aye. Mr. Mueller. And to make it official, Mr. Herrera.
Abstain. Okay, motion passes. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the award of the audio enhancement RFP to audio enhancement in the amount of $614,179.44?
I move.
Second.
Member Hemke made the motion. Member Hauk seconded the motion to approve the award of the audio enhancement RFP to audio enhancement in the amount of $614,179.44. Discussion?
Are we gonna get any kind of an overview presentation all, or relying on us just to have read?
Mr. Winters, do you want to speak a little bit to the audio enhancement RFP and
The approach that we're taking is beyond the typical way that we look at a PA system. We have a need in obviously 3 of our buildings where the PA system is not stable. We have classrooms that are being missed. We have outdated equipment. We have one system in one building, one system in another building. We're calling multiple vendors for different needs, for the continual breaking down. We have gremlins over in Seth Whitman that it doesn't work when they're there, but we get there, it's working fine. So that's the basic need of having to upgrade or change over the PA system. We looked at this as an opportunity to not only change the PA system, just making basic announcements, but how do we change the classroom? How do we change how teachers interact with students? And how can we turn this into a learning tool, learning environment? So oddly enough, I was talking to 2 reps from audio enhancement in my office. Dr. Shug was at a conference down south someplace, I believe, speaking with speaking with a rep, and she said this audio enhancement I find it really intriguing. Yeah, me too. I'm talking to the 2 reps right now. It is a holistic approach to a building, to building management, a classroom management as well. Typical classroom, 30 by 30, will have 4 speakers in it. And what the idea there is that when a teacher speaks, when a teacher is writing on the whiteboard, when a teacher is moving across the classroom, there are words that are not heard by everyone. And not everyone realizes that they have a hearing issue. I didn't find out until I did the physical that my hearing is bad. So this allows the teacher to actually perform their duties, whether they're writing on a whiteboard, without worrying about making sure that they're hitting the person back in the corner. Everybody hears the same. And with this approach, also up to a 10% increase in test scores. Even if we get 1%, we'll take the 1%. There's also a safety aspect, such as every teacher has a lanyard. And with this lanyard, you obviously can talk to the students, but on the safety side of it, you can push a button and there is a silent alarm that goes to whomever we decide in the building, whether it is the SRO, the principal, doesn't matter, whoever. There's also a two-way communication between the teacher, the staff member, and the office. So there's a digital display in every classroom, and off of the digital display, when the office can chime in, and there's a little announcement, so the teacher's aware that somebody's trying to get a hold of them. They can turn it into a 1-room announcement, 2-room announcement, 10, 50, all. Another change for us is that we will be able to do our own bell schedules. Currently, we have to hire a company to come in for most of our schools to change a bell schedule. Bell schedules will also be multifunctional, meaning that a principal can decide that they want different bell schedules for different zones of ability. There is a safety aspect that it will tell you, there will be a contact at every teacher door. And it will tell administration which doors are open, which doors are closed for safety. Especially when you are doing drills, lockdowns. So it is a multifaceted, for me, a brilliant approach on how we teach our staff, our students. It takes away the barriers to learning. One of the cool things that they are releasing right now. Let's say that English is a second language for you. We can give the student a device, so when they go to a classroom, they can scan what language that they want to learn, and it will, as the teacher speaks, it will translate that to their language. So they have an understanding of what the teacher's talking about. So like I said, this is an ever-evolving platform, dynamic. It is constantly growing. And we are going to be one of the fortunate ones to be the first in Illinois. That's why this company is being aggressive with their first one. We have sent 2 of our staff members to certify their company, and which means that we can save $250,000, install it ourselves, but work on it ourselves. If there's an issue, we can do this versus bringing somebody else in for anywhere from $2,000 to all the way up to $3,000 to $4,000. I know I'm going on and on about this, but this is such a fantastic system. And in my opinion, it is a game changer for how teachers can teach in the classroom and how students can learn. Any questions?
So Sean, all the functionality that you mentioned is included in the package that we're purchasing. It's like their Epic system or whatever.
This is their best, their top of the line. And the reason why we can do this, again, because we saved the $350,000. We're able to install it ourselves. So that put it as something that's attainable for us. One other thing I forgot to mention too, every classroom will have a handheld microphones. So if a student needs to speak, same thing. Everybody else will hear it. So, yes.
Yeah, I watched the video. It's great.
Yeah, I watched the video too, and it does seem like a really cool option. I guess my question is, I know in phase one, we approved the spending for a new PA system. Like, how much did we approve, and are we in that range? Like, cost effective, are we spending what we can?
Yeah,
Like not, I mean, I know it's a want, but is it a necessity, I guess is my question financially.
yes, it does come within our range. Is it more than a conventional system? Absolutely. But we're also asking it to be more than a conventional PA system. We spoke about clocks, a cost for a clock, $135. What we will be moving to as these clocks start to fade out is that we will purchase a small monitor for the classrooms. That's going to be our clock. That's also going to be our scroll for emergencies or fire drills or anything else like that, announcements. So, yeah, it is an ever-growing system. It's very innovative. It is beyond the PA system, where we don't have that big box that, typically there's only about this much that we can do. But we are a little over budget, but we are confident that we can absorb that in our phase two. Especially once we get to the point of knowing what we like about the system and maybe some of the things that we don't necessarily.
And I'm not necessarily opposed to it, and I like the concept of us fixing it ourselves.
Yes,
I just worry, again, with our budget, are we being responsible with what we're purchasing?
yep, good question. From my chair, the way I look at this system is that, again, I look past it just being PA. I look at how it brings everything else in. It brings in the bell schedule, it brings in the PA, it brings in the room to room, which we are losing. And that is one of the things that Washington, I believe, I think it was Falcons, Seth, where we are losing the room-to-room communication because the system's so old that I can't buy anything new enough that is within a fiscal responsibility to reactivate that room-to-room communication.
So room to room, we don't have phones?
We do have phones, but there is in speaking with their staff, with teachers, one of the things that they do like is they do like to have that one-to-one communication with office beyond the telephone. Now, the one thing that this system brings is that it is a canvas communication. So if I'm a teacher, if I'm in the back of the room and if I have a situation, I need to communicate, or the office needs to communicate with me, I don't have to go answer the phone. I can answer it here. It is clear. It is that is what digital displays about. It's just one more facet of this system. Is that why we're buying it? No, we're not buying it because of the one communication. That is something that just comes along with it. It's nothing that we're hanging our hat on for that. I like the safety aspect of it, the ability to tell if doors are closed or open. That's huge. In some situations, I don't want to get too far down the road and talk about some of the tragedies out there. But it is a proven fact. There has not been one situation where anyone's been harmed when the doors have been closed. And that is something that we can not only carry to the classroom door, but also the doors on the exterior of the building. Are those doors closed? Are those doors being propped? Or there is a local alarm that will go off, but also an alarm in the office area. Okay. I can see where somebody can say, do we need this part, this aspect. I look at it as the whole package. And I do look at this as something that is in the future of the classroom. The innovation, the second word of our beautiful new assignments up there. this does, we talked about innovation since I've been here. Here it is. And we are putting our feet in the water. We are not jumping into the deep end of the pool.
Well, and just to also come back around to, we're gonna do a full phase one, update, this evening. So we're gonna hear from Nexus. We're gonna hear about all those phase one projects. We'll be talking about the priority needs spending. And part of our commitment is that we are not going beyond what has been board approved in terms of, what it is we're gonna spend on that
Yes.
phase one. Our hope is that we're gonna have some projects that are coming in under budget. There's some sense that that is, likely in many different cases throughout that, but definitely this is a higher spend than what we had originally anticipated. We have some that are coming in as lower spends, but we do believe the investment makes sense. We did really task audio enhancement with bringing their price way down, and we did encourage our team to go out and get trained so that we could bring this system on board as opposed to going with another system that would be very similar in price point, but not offer the same level of service that I think we're getting out of audio enhancement. As we continue to work through this, we're just seeing some of these first projects sort of come up at this point. So as we continue to work through this, we'll look at that priority projects, that phase one, and we'll see what it was that we anticipated, what the actual spend is, what's been completed, what hasn't been completed, because we also have some projects on that list that we've been able to complete internally at a lower cost. So we are definitely going to be keeping that information in front of the board, and you'll also see it in your board update in that project update month to month to month.
So I understand that, but you're asking us to vote on something before we can see the big picture of the reconciliation that you're undertaking
Yep.
for a deficit budget. So it's very difficult for me to, I mean, I want it. It's
Yeah.
awesome. I would love to have it, but it's really difficult for me to say I fully accept saying yes to it without seeing the big picture of how are we reconciling our budget this year. So that's the challenge that I face, and maybe understanding the urgency a little bit better of this particular project could help.
It is with our PA system. When you're in a building, there's nothing more urgent than communication. And when the office or somebody else makes an announcement and you cannot hear it, that for me, that's something that goes up a level to him. Nothing more important than communication. And with these three buildings, we do have some significant issues with the PA system and the reliability. Washington has the original distribution board from 1960. It looks like the little games you play at Cracker Barrel. Honestly, you take the little pegs out, and that's how you distribute the information. So yeah, from my chair, the communication aspect of it, this PA system is critical, absolutely critical.
It's also important to remember that this is part of the capital plans and facility master plan. And these funds are not in any contribution to your deficit budget. These are not operating funds that are being used for this. This is Fund 60 and Fund 90, because there is a security component to it. So this is not where your deficit is coming from, and any cuts we make in these projects aren't going to impact your deficit budget. Your deficit budget has to be addressed in the operational funds. This is the $10 million you moved from operation to capital projects last year, and the bonds that you issued. So this funding it can't be redirected to do your budget deficit reconciliation. These are approved projects that were done in the future. So I 100% am very cognizant of the deficit and what we're trying to do to rectify that. But these facility master plan projects are not part of that deficit at this point, because those are already committed funds that you have moved into that to pay for these projects. So where we have to recognize where the facility master plan came in at $1 amount, and you guys, the board approved a revised amount when they were reassessed 2 years later, This is where we have to do that reconciliation of what are we doing within there. And that's as we're seeing, you know, the clinic may come in less, the Everest may come in. We're seeing some of these projects. This is the first RFP that is coming back from this plan. So if we hinder on the very first one, we have to bid them all. And we can't bid them all to tell you where we're gonna come in or out under until we start doing this. But if we push pause on all of these contracts, we're not going to start making progress forward. But it is a completely separate bucket of funds that are paying for the master facility plan.
And
Thank you.
I do understand this concern, like Joanne said, we all share this concern. We are gonna be coming forward in February with some additional talking points. We know we also have the BEA contract, the VESA contract. We have a lot of contracts that are also gonna impact what that future looks like and what that's gonna hold for us. But it is important to also note that as we bring these forward, we already experienced, since the facility needs assessment, increases in costs that are significant. The longer we wait, the more those costs are likely to go up. Again, we can always hit pause on these. Every one of these projects is coming to the board for approval. But in order to implement those next steps, and some of these that are health life safety projects and that we purchase the bonds for, we are going to need to be approving these sorts of projects month to month to month moving forward. So it is challenging as people see a deficit budget and then hear about a purchase that is significant that's going to impact these other schools. Again, we hear that, we feel that as well. But I don't see the costs coming down in the future, and I do see that this is coming out of that phase one project list that we have.
And this is the cost for 3 buildings.
3 buildings.
And is there an additional like cost each year after that? Like, do we have, I mean, we're gonna fix it ourselves, but is there like a membership or a subscription or anything? And then I'm assuming that eventually other buildings.
Yeah, having the same platform. I honestly, I think you're gonna get such positive feedback from building staff, the admin. I think it's gonna be contagious, and we're gonna wanna put these in our building.
We talked about that at business services specifically. And so we anticipate that other buildings will want this as part of their phase 2, and we do those conversations and say, what do you need? Those we would anticipate would be done based on need as well, so that the schools that don't have communication tools that are effective right now, from office to building, the security side is a huge component of it. We would address those on a need basis. You know, it'd be fantastic to have it everywhere, but is it realistic to put it everywhere this year? No. You know, I do kind of look out further to see what's going to be available. This will all come down to phase 2 as well, as we want to expand it. I'm not going to pretend that even if we pause on phase 2, that we're not going to have issues that come up that need to be fixed. But I would anticipate that these types of security and communication tools would be part of phase 2.
What did we allocate for this, for renovating the PA in these 3 schools?
The original budget was at 469,333. So it's about 144,846 over what we anticipated when that first proposal was done. And that's on the bid summary that was in your packet.
30% over. The, you said that we are going to install ourselves.
Yes.
Are there some hidden additional costs associated? How are we going to do that without incurring additional costs?
I plan on having our district electrician on staff, the maintenance person that helps him, and I'm probably gonna pull one grounds person. Typically have summer help that helps with the grounds anyway. I'll probably have one more staff hired for the grounds, 1 maybe 2. We do have some other.
For seasonal help. We also talked at business services that this would be a great opportunity to use some of our technology interns, some of our students over the summer to get them in. It's a lot of data pulls. It's a lot of cabling, just pulling cable. So it'd be a great opportunity to give them some
Yeah, but
As
exposure.
you
to
know, as
this.
an engineer,
Yep.
you can't kink the tables up, you've gotta be.
Right.
I think that's I
Yeah.
like the consideration of that for sure.
But that is really the only other expense that we plan, with this purchase.
And at this time, they have capacity to do that because you don't have anything else slated for them. So
We got
this,
much
this
else going
yeah.
on, so.
falls within it because it's a big job. I mean, it's a huge job.
It's a big
I'm
job.
surprised you could say you can do it without incurring any additional cost. That's a huge job.
But that's also, keeping in mind that we have multiple projects and multiple buildings going on. And we plan on working with Nexus because they need to take ceilings down in certain areas, such as Washington, when they get the new HVAC in the building. Washington would be our last school, so when they go to take the ceilings down, we'll be right in there with doing the ports. I'm very confident, having seen some of the things that my staff have done. It's awesome, it's humbling. I think that this is also something that can give my staff at Shop to say what we can do this. Really, it boils down to pulling wire and termination. So, when the wires can take all this.
You know, if you need any volunteer help.
I hear you all freaking weird.
What kind of timeline is there for this kind of project? How long will it take to implement all this?
I'm giving myself 2 years. But I'm going to under promise. And that's the nice thing about working with a partner with Nexus, where we can work together on these projects. I'm very confident in my staff. I'm very confident in our management. So this is that I cannot wait until a board meeting what these things can be.
Any other questions for Mr. Winters?
How did staff feel about it?
Oh, staff?
Yes.
As in the building? Yeah, I've talked to a couple teachers, mostly with the principals. And that's because of frustration that come up sporadically working PA. One of the things that this will also take care of, one of the biggest complaints that I get is that it's a gym. And you've got a bunch of kids running around, and the PA goes up. No one knows that what's going on, they can't hear you. But these, we're gonna actually, they'll be able to put strobes. So when these strobes are going off, that's telling you that there's an announcement. So, many benefits, but,
What happens to the kids that are outside in class?
still, since they're still went outside.
So you can still hear things like, will their lanyard or something go off?
And individual, volume adjustment as well. So that's a nice thing, again, another nice thing that you can adjust the volume in the classroom individually. Which, again, that's been another.
And there's no doubt that we've heard from the staff that this need is
That's-
there and is an ongoing concern.
I was at Central Middle School today, talking with the librarian, and her telling me of the challenges that she has 3 rooms there, that there's no speakers there. So it is an ongoing issue beyond these three.
The other feedback we received was, when we earlier talked about the rector, security badges, is there was some concern with it geolocating your work. These ones are specific, they are not registered until you push the button. So it's not tracking you. So battery life is 10 times more than what we would have with Raptor because it's constantly monitoring. So the need to plug it in or recharge it is not as much. But it also gave some peace of mind that you're not being tracked everywhere you go in the building. So until you hit those panic buttons, which is not a simple one push, and a kid's not going to hit it by accident, a teacher's not going to hit it by accident. It's you could push it 3 times and then you're going to see something start. You can talk to somebody, you can do those things. But the big component that staff was also concerned about was it constantly monitoring where you go. And this does not. It does not activate your geolocation until you actually push the buttons, and that will find you outside. It will find you, if you have an emergency personally in the restroom, if you see something happening in the cafeteria, no matter where you are, whether it's your signed place or where you're at, it will find you at that point and locate where that incident and that assistance is needed. But it is not a 24/7 find you wherever you are.
It's a lot of battery powered devices that we don't currently have to contend with. Is there warranty or battery life warranty
Yeah,
or
I
replacement?
did it 1 year on the batteries. I know that will probably wind up on rail that, but,
Are they're not recharge? They don't recharge?
I don't have the answer for that. I knew until you asked. I can't get you an answer for that, though. I do believe that they are rechargeable. I'll have to look on, is that on the website? I thought it was.
I thought they were rechargeable.
Yeah, I thought they were rechargeable.
Yeah, it would seem like they've done everything else right. That why would they do that
Just a
wrong?
fantastic
But
company. And it all started from a mother who gave birth to 3 dead children. It's a fantastic way to change the world.
Just want to make a couple quick comments. One, thank you, Mrs. Armstrong, for the clarification.
Yes,
These are
they
getting paid for.
rechargeable.
Go ahead.
They are rechargeable.
thank you.
And thank you, Mrs. Armstrong, for the clarification that this particular piece is getting paid out of the Fund 60, Fund 90, from the Health Aid Safety transfer that I think we did. And then also, Dr. Shug, thank you for your emphasis that you mentioned. We're going to, as we look at this, of course, this is the first of many RFPs, but I think we are going to look to stay within that phase 1 budget, if you will. So while this might be a little bit higher, right out the gate, we're going to have the opportunities to look at other projects coming through in phase 1, and I guess to evaluate those and to see where we can come into the budget with those too, because that's where it's going to be. This one might be a little bit higher. This might be some items that might not come in as high, but I think there's a commitment to stay within budget. So.
You mentioned the 450,000 budgeted for all schools, or is that?
No, that was just for the two.
Any of the further questions, comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Hemke.
Aye.
Mrs. Hauk. Mr. Dieselmeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Mueller.
Aye.
Mrs. Young. Mr. Piggy.
Aye.
And Mr. Herrera.
Motion passes. Okay, the following items have been added for discussion or will be coming up for further review and or possible action in the future. Background information has been provided and the board may ask questions and or request clarification at this time. I'll hand it over to Dr. Shug as we discuss the vision.
All right, so as we've talked about over the past several months, we know that we're still utilizing the next steps in our 5-year strategic plan. But during that strategic planning process, one of the things that we did not write was a vision statement. We did profiles for our staff, for our students, but we didn't have a clear vision statement that was a component of that strategic plan. As a result, we've spent a lot of time as an administrative team and bringing back to you and then bringing back to the staff for feedback, a vision statement that really pulls together that strategic plan. And the branding process wound up also contributing, I think, to our thinking around the vision statement. So a vision statement is really defining what we aspire to become as a school district, serving as a guiding compass, helping us with our decision-making process and our long-term direction. Again, I think it's something that is really important as we look to ending and sunsetting this strategic plan and refreshing and looking to a new strategic plan in the coming years. This would be something that would stay the test of time. So this is something that we would continue to have in place. So what we have come to you with this evening for the purposes of discussion, so it's not on here for a vote this month, but maybe we'll be ready for a vote next month, is community rooted, every child included, learning, innovating, and leading, thriving today, and prepared for tomorrow. Really, we used a lot of the key words we had in our mission statement, a lot of the work we were doing in our strategic planning process, and then also looking to our vision tagline that we've put together as a result of that branding process as well, feeling like that learn, innovate, and lead really represents who we are as a school district and where we're going. The vision statement gives us a little bit more capacity. So here again, we have community, which was a recurring theme throughout our stakeholder input and our strategic planning process. Every child included. Again, this was a huge component of our discussion and our core values as a strategic planning team is that inclusion and that every child matters. Again, we have the learning, the innovating, and the leading, thriving today. So wanting to make sure that every child is thriving today, really looking at that present, and then aspiring towards the future where we are prepared for tomorrow, which is really, we know, an increasing challenge as the world before us is changing dramatically. I believe that this vision statement then sets us up for success in the profile for graduate work that is currently ongoing. That's really going to talk about that prepared for tomorrow piece. So I'm looking for any feedback here. How does that sit with you? How do you feel about that as a vision statement? Do we seem like we're on track? We have gotten, again, stakeholder feedback on this, but I wanted to bring it to you one more time to see how you felt about it before we looked at putting that on as a roll call item for next month.
Just jump in. I do like how it does relate to our directly, right?
Yes.
Learn, innovate, lead. It's literally right in there.
Not by
Right.
accident, yes.
So I like how we tied that in there, of course. And that's the message, right? That's the message we're going to take out with us in our school district when we're talking, right? So yeah, I do like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the community reference. You know, that's really important. Who we are, what we're about.
Yeah, I'm impressed that you encompass kind of every aspect that I feel is important generally as a mission, not specifically, but it probably would have taken me a paragraph to
This wasn't our first swing at
to
it.
convey that. And, I like every aspect of it. Yeah,
Including every child. I think that's important.
Yeah.
yeah, every bit of it I think is relevant.
And you like how it rhymes. All right.
But it's
Catchy.
yeah, it's succinct. It's succinct. It's something we can. It's really easy to remember. And back to the community comments. Every child, you know, important aspects, thriving today and prepared for tomorrow. All that. Again, very succinctly worded there. So yeah, I mean, for all the iterations, I guess that you looked at, in my opinion, this looks really good.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I'm going to take that to the bank and we will bring that back to you then as a roll call item. I'm really excited to have that come together. And I think, again, really nicely aligned with the portrait of a graduate work that we're doing as well. So I think that'll help inform that as well. So Thank you so much. I appreciate your support for that.
Okay, next on the agenda items, I'm sorry, here we go. Facility Masters Plan, Phase 1 update and review. Dr. Shug, we do
Yes.
have the folks from Nexus here today.
Yes, well, and this is very timely as we just had a great deal of discussion about this phase one. We really felt like it was important to take a step back and share with you what in fact is in that phase one. What does that look like school by school, and and get any feedback from the board as necessary on those next steps. And you will have Nexus here to answer all of your questions as well. So I'm going to turn it over to the team from Nexus.
I'll kick it off. All right, thank you so much for having us here tonight. It's a pleasure to see all of you. Happy New Year. We haven't seen you since last year. So as Dr. Shug said, we wanted to come tonight and give you an update on where we are in phase one. And so if there are any questions as we go through this, please feel free to stop us. But the goal is that we have a brief agenda. And what that really looks like is the highlight and the overview of where we are in phase one. We have it broken out school by school so we can show you what that budget is, what the improvements are that are being made in each of those schools. If you can advance to the next slide, that would be great. Thank you. So we'll have that kind of the meeting goals and expectations. I'll give you a summary of what we have done in December, what we're doing in January, where we are looking in February. Like I said, we'll talk through each of those schools where we are as far as the description of work, the design process, where we are with design, and then we'll take some next steps looking forward at what we'll be bringing back to you in February. So as I said, please feel free to stop us as we're going through this. Next slide, please. So just looking ahead at December, completed the design for the new clinic. So I know that, thank you to Joanne for sharing the summary updates that we've been submitting over to you. But we did complete the design for the new clinic. We have held secure entry user group and site walks for all 10 schools. We have reviewed 75% design milestones for the secure entry projects with the district. We've had a lot of good discussions in our design leadership team meetings that are held every third Friday of the month. Phase 2 walkthroughs and concept development for food service, CTE, and early childhood center have been accomplished. So we're excited about that. As we are working through in January, the clinic work is out to bid and due back in at the end of January on the 27th. We have mechanical, plumbing, electrical reviews scheduled. So those will be happening in this month. We have the secure entry for phase 1 schools at 100% design due at the end of this week on Friday, the 23rd. And we have design work on phase 1 scope for Washington HVAC and the admin building beginning also this month. Looking ahead into February, we have the draft phase 2 FIM summary. So as you remember, as we were talking about phase 1, we brought to you that intense FIM schedule. We will have the same exact template for phase 2. So we will be bringing it back to you in that same format and reviewing all of those different scopes that have been previously identified as priority as part of phase 2. We will have the review with administration first. We plan on being here at Business Services in February and again in front of you at the board meeting and meeting with the District 100 team to plan for those January and February meetings. So as we look forward, we have all of those things coming up. And as I previously said, we continue to have those weekly meetings with the team, the admin team, and with the team at Nexus. So lots of things are happening and things are moving, lots of things to be discussed. So we're excited to share that with you. And I will turn it over to Hans and he will... Yes, please.
Could I ask a question?
Yes.
And if you could go back, it's in the lower left, the phase 2 walkthroughs and concept development.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on what that activity is?
So
Yes, absolutely.
So we've had our partner subject matter experts going through, looking at everything from asphalt to roofing, revalidating items that we looked at in phase 1, identifying some additional stuff that has come up since. Either were there new issues or just reiterating those priorities. Some of it is architectural.
So looking at some smaller remodels, considering some smaller models. So we've gone through a couple different, we're looking through those options and hoping to get back to the principals and reviewing those with them.
For
Feedback
everything on the
those.
phase 2 scope
Correct.
of
Yeah.
work. And and the concept development for food service CTE and early childhood?
Sure. So as part of that, in phase 1, we're doing a new freezer at Belvedere High School. As part of that, we're also looking at some other food service updates, looking at potential to holistically upgrade kitchen serving at all the schools, potentially eliminating disposables and adding dishwasher and tray returns at those buildings that make sense. So, I mean, kind of a gamut of food service improvements we're considering and looking at. That answer your question?
Within the CTE and early childhood center?
Yep, and same thing, we talked about the CTE and Early Childhood Center, we're continuing to develop that and refine that program. I talked to her earlier last week, refine that. We've got a couple concept items, again, I said it once already, we're still refining it. I'm hoping to present that to you folks either in February or March. We'll help you.
Just to
It is
clarify,
just
we're not
EC,
looking at a
yes.
CT center. We're looking at EC center and
Yes.
upgrades or remodels of CTE spaces in existing.
Thank you for that.
If I missaid that, I
Yeah, you
apologize.
just kind of throw them together, CTE center
EC
and.
Center,
That was the
CTE.
point that I was trying to
Yes. Yeah.
zero in on.
Yeah, yeah,
But
thank you.
all
I
of
think
the
I had the same
phase
question.
2, as well, Nexus has been walking with the principals and getting input, and so kind of soliciting some of that input of what they are looking for as well, but still identifying the priority projects that need to be done that were not included in phase 1. But they have been.
Thank you
moving
for that
forward in
clarification.
principle as well through the
Yes. Multiple meetings. So similar to what we did with phase 1, we have certain user groups within each of those buildings, and then we have the extended user groups, which is some of the admin teams. And then obviously, as Hans reiterated, our sub-consultants and our subject matter experts. So lots of different, meetings and discussions so that we can refine and bring back to you what meets those priority phase 2 projects, and also make sure that we've vetted and spoken to all of those people that are going to be in those areas and using those systems. Thank you for that.
Thanks.
Appreciate that.
More detail, but simply put, we identify an issue, whether it's from the user group, particular teacher, principal, staff member. We work internally to understand what that is, what the solution is, put a budget to it, come back, work with Sean's team, work with the principals. Is this solution adequate? No or yes or no, revise it. And some of the things are pretty easy. If there's a roof leak, okay, do we need to replace the roof or does it need to be, can it be patched up, right? And other things are more difficult, like the early childhood center, right? So that takes a lot more time. So there's,
Thank you. So looking ahead, the way that we've broken this out is we wanted to kind of put the elementary schools on one slide and kind of give you that update on those buildings. We'll move into the middle schools, the high schools, and then the additional buildings within the district. Again, if you have questions as Hans is talking through this, please feel free to stop and ask.
So good segue on the earlier discussion of audio enhancements. What we're showing here again is the building, original project budget, quick description of the work. Where we're at in the design process, you're going to see a lot of these are at 100%. Those are at the buildings where we're just doing secure entry. We're doing the PA system, the audio enhancement system. We're doing some card access items. You're going to see buildings that are at close to zero or near zero. Those are larger projects that we deferred to later for a number of different reasons. They're going to start on the heels of what I'll call the first phase of our phase 1 being done design. So Caledonia, Lincoln, Meehan, 100% done. Those are, as Lauren said, they're going to be bidding next week. Hope to have bids back end of February here. Perry, we have not started there. Again, we made that critical because that's such a large remodel, adding elevators. It would be cost prohibitive to really focus on that secure entrance there. They really need to be done at the same time. logistically to meet ADA, but also just feasibly, you wouldn't want to do a secure entrance and not have the rest of it done. We're trying to keep the economies of scale, mobilize contractors at one time, bid it as one package. It's more attractive for contractors, one bid package. So we'll get better pricing. Seth Whitman is in that boat with that it's 100% done. Again, Washington, like Perry, very large HVAC upgrade. We were able to do the main office there, but there's still a multi-million-dollar HVAC upgrade that, as you see in the schedule, the Gantt chart I'll show later, is planned for a little bit later, so we can get this machine going. Really focus on those secure entrances that the buildings we're touching. I think there's 8 of them. Focus on that audio enhancement system. Focus on the secure access, and then we can start focusing on single buildings, which are Washington Elementary, Perry. The next slide.
South Middle School.
Middle schools will be South Middle School. Again, has a very large HVAC upgrade, so we're deferring that one till on the heels of this design being completed. Central Middle School, again, secure entry and access control system there. That's 100% complete. Again, will be out for bid shortly. We should be having bids come back end of February. High schools, again, North High School, Everest, secure entry. You're going to hear me repeat it, secure entry, access control, some site work we're able to get in there. Belvedere High School's got some roof work. There's that walk-in freezer that I talked about earlier. So those are 2 items that we're holding off on. Some of this comes down to lead time on equipment, these larger projects, because we're started design 4 months ago. Again, I said we want to focus on those secure entrances. Even if we got design done, bid out now, those are going to be a little more difficult to get lead time on. So by deferring them, focus on the stuff that we could, starting design on the next phase now. We've got a little longer lead time to runway here. Proper design, work this with the user groups, get those out to bid, get the contractors mobilized, get those long lead time items like electrical transformers, elevators at Perry, HVAC equipment that we know we're going to have issues with. Clinic, that was actually the very first item we were tasked with getting that design. That is bidding. Did we say that's bidding next week?
This week.
This week?
closed.
Yeah, it's closing on the, yep.
I remember the exact date of that. Central office is another one. This building, another major HVAC upgrade, really slots in well with some of those other HVAC designs. And then the ops building, just access control. So with that, this is a kind of more of a picture repeating what we just said. Again, we've got a very large project that we're trying to tackle here, $50 million. We're hitting those secure entries first, hitting the clinic first. Those are, we feel pretty comfortable. We're off and running really well, but it really is only 24% of it because, like I said, the big projects are really going to start rolling right now on the heels of these secure entry designs. Next slide. So again, kind of reiterating what I just said. This is the past 5 months we've been working on those 8-9 schools, getting kind of the blocking and tackling going. Right on the heels of that, we're going to be working on these multi-million-dollar projects. Washington, this building, South Middle School, Perry Elementary, and South Middle School, this building, Washington, and then Perry. That makes sense? Questions, comments? Unfortunately, like we said, the audio enhancements, the only thing we've had budget bids come in on. Like Joanne said, but shortly here we'll have the clinic building. We'll have this first group of phases, and right then we'll start kind of slotting things in. We'll know where we're at when those bids come in, and figure out if we need to cut back some more, if we have a little bit more money to spend on these buildings. But that's why we do it as a large portfolio, right? Some things are going to be coming over, some should come in under, and as we keep kind of the train keeps moving, we'll hone in on where we're at and have more comfort on where we sit with the $50 million budget.
What's the orange bar again?
Orange bar is bid phase.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's hard to see.
Yep.
Dark blue is our design phase. Got about four weeks of bidding where they're out to bids. Contractors are tooling up for that bid date, sending their bids. We've got some downtime there where we're working with the contractors, getting contracts with them, start getting them mobilized, start reviewing equipment, getting that stuff ordered. And then the kind of the turquoise there is when we actually start construction. The lime green is closed out. There's still kind of
Punch list.
There's commissioning going on. So we want to recognize that we're still in the building doing work, but 99% of it should be complete by then.
Great question.
Do we have access to this presentation?
Yep, I
sent it over to
Yes, it will be in board docs. We just received it.
got it.
So we will,
have
yes, but
Apple
you will have,
Eyes, I can't
no,
see
no,
anything.
you
It
will
says
have,
a thing.
absolutely, you have access to it moving
I know,
forward.
I don't want to hear that
Same
says.
question.
Yep, great. Thank you. Thank you, Barbie, for mentioning that. Yeah.
I kept looking for it. I'm like, I don't know where it's at. but-
Any other questions on the schedule? Otherwise, we can take a quick look at some of the next steps. Really, it's more just the iteration of what we've talked about. If you can go to the next slide, please. So really, next steps, we look forward to coming back and sitting with you all in February at Business Services at the board meeting. Again, we're going to get more into the discussion of phase 2. Obviously, at any point in time, we're happy to pause and give you phase 1 updates and answer any questions about where we are in phase 1. But with the expectation, you're going to see us really coming up at all of your meetings. It won't just be Hans and myself. We have Brent Warren. So he's part of the construction team. We also have Courtney Cates and other people that will be attending the meetings with us so that they can be providing updates as well as it pertains to the work that they're doing. So again, as part of the phase 2, we are looking at it similarly as what we did with phase 1. So it's identifying what those priority projects were that the board had previously approved, coming back to the administration and those user groups, and validating those, reprioritizing, and making sure that we have accurate budgets for all of those different scope projects. So we're going to go through that scope summarization at each one of those facilities, each one of those line items, make sure that we have that updated prioritization that we will be going through with the board in the next month or two. We'll be using that same financial planning tool. So the FIMSUM is something that the board is hopefully getting accustomed to seeing, but that's where we will break out each of those scope items line by line and associate how it is being funded, what the projected timeline is for that, and all the associated things for each of those line items. And then obviously work with the team to make sure and stay on track, stay on budget. Our goal is obviously to ensure that we're being fiscally responsible and mindful of where we are with our budgets. And as we go through this process, giving the updates in real time to the administrative team and to the board. So that is what next steps look like. And I think if you just move on to the next slide, it's just a summary of the agenda. Any other additional questions at this time regarding phase 1 or potentially looking ahead into phase 2? No problem. This is pretty much the last slide, so we are good. Yes. There it is. Thank you. Any discussion?
How often are you giving these updates?
We'll be here really looking ahead pretty much every month. We'll be with the board either at Business Services and at the board meeting, just so that we can have that thoughtful conversation and be mindful of the time spent at this meeting. But obviously, we are here whenever requested. But it is on our schedules to have representation here every month moving forward.
And that FIMSUM will be continuing to be updated.
Absolutely.
Say where we are in terms of the project. list.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
month to month, we should be able to follow that, and you should also see it in your board update, what we're doing month to month to month.
Yes.
And we can bring Nexus in whenever too. So if we feel
Absolutely.
like we need more, they will bring us more time. yeah?
Absolutely.
So you'll raise red flags when there are red flags. We don't have to
You don't have to
try to
guess.
keep track
No,
or guess or
you got it.
ask or-
Absolutely. We're keeping a running tally of what the original projected budget was, where we currently are sitting. And so we will continue to give you those live updates. But if there's anything that we see that would cause, any conflict with timeline, lead times, budget increases, we will definitely make sure to pre-warn you before this.
And there were none today, right?
Not that we've seen today. No, Hans, anything that
Well,
you?
we talked about, we're in the red right now on the audio enhancements. I know at Everest, we were able to skinny up that secure entrance, so that we expect to save some money on that side. So again, as we kind of keep going through these, we're going to be cognizant of where we sit, and if we need to skinny up some areas or kind of tighten up expectations, or if we get ahead, that doesn't mean there's an open pocket, but we're working with Joanne and Sean and saying, okay, there's some other areas that we need to be cognizant of, and we need to fund a little bit more.
And
just-
our target is to come in under budget on
Yes, ma'am.
phase one.
Yes.
Because whatever comes forward for phase two, we are not going to be able to do all of the projects that are a part of phase two.
Correct.
We're not going to be able to address everything that's on that facility needs for the price point that was identified for us by Stiefel and PMA. So it is our target to come in under budget on phase
Correct.
one so that we have more opportunity to do additional priority needs projects on phase two. It is in everyone's best interest for that to take place, and we are definitely keeping an eye on that. If that's reduced costs on carpet or
Yes.
whatever the case may be, we are looking for where we can carve something out. But I do think an investment in the audio enhancement piece makes a lot of sense long term.
And just to reiterate, part of the partnership that you entered into with Nexus is that once we come to you with a design and we give you that budget, if that design comes in over the budget, we redesign that at our cost. So we feel confident that, this is what we do. We are bidding projects every single week. So we really have a good feeling of where we are. But it is our commitment based on the level of expertise we have that we put our money where our mouth is. And so when we design something, like we said, we stick by that budget. And if it comes in over that budget, we will redesign it at our cost. So there's just that assurance I wanted to remind the board of.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
And just for clarity, I do meet with Nexus, with Brent, monthly at least to review the bills. So red flags, when I'm seeing the RFPs, I'm seeing the invoice. I mean, I'm gonna be bringing to them before their Nexus will bring them to attention, but we're watching the shop as well. And I am desperate to stay under budget on this. So we will, when we saw the inflation over the 2 years, we already know we need to be cost conscious. So it is not just Nexus watching that shop. We are also watching it very regularly.
We meet, I know Ms. Armstrong meets with Nexus multiple times a week. I have multiple communications with Nexus daily. And,
We're trying to streamline the process. So
But we,
Don't overwhelm
in every
everybody.
meeting, you're always looking at ways that you can save money. It is a passion, not only that Joanne and I share, but Nexus as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. We are very cognizant, very mindful, and it is definitely one of our pillars to make sure that we are being fiscally mindful and responsible and doing everything we can to limit that impact to the districts and the communities that we serve. So thank you for sharing that. Any other questions? If something comes up, obviously in the meantime, please always feel free to, directly reach out or pass it along to your administrative team. We're happy to answer anything as the process goes on, but we look forward to sitting with you in February at Business Services and at your board meeting. So we look forward to many continued conversations.
Thank you, Laura. and
Thank you.
Hans.
It was nice to see you all.
Any other further discussion?
Yeah, I was just kind of reflecting on 10-year plan here tonight. So I think it was actually the night I was sworn in for the previous board. It was the night that we voted, and we carved out this first 3 years of projects. I think it's a fair assessment that most of the projects are extremely deferred maintenance projects, things that should have been done many years ago. Some of them are extremely critical safety issues. You know, the fact that we don't have all the vestibules secured at this point in time, we're way behind that power curve. So there are really meaningful projects in that first, especially that first 2 years. You know, and then I think Joanne had a really good point too. Illinois is a fund-based accounting system, and what we put in Fund 60 and 90, we can't spend that money on. We've embarked on a journey here to start to chip away at these critical items. And there's some things that are first up that are really important. All that being said, I think, you know, given where we're at, costs have increased significantly. I think it does make sense for us to go back and revisit some of the projects that are in phase one, and ask ourselves whether or not we still want to go through with some. I can think of some examples. The money that we're spending with Perry, for example, is one. I think there's a couple others in there that we can go back and revisit before we go to the next phase. There is an opportunity for us to still be, you know, good stewards of the taxpayers' money. Go back and scrub some of those. And it's probably, we ought to probably consider doing that relatively soon. Just because they have a process that needs to continue forward. Once you start going off the bid, you have to keep that process.
Okay.
So my
No, absolutely. Other board feedback?
It'd be nice to know what, every year, know what the nitty-gritty is of $13 million or $7 million,
Mm-hmm.
where it's getting spent.
So the projects at Washington, the projects at Perry, and the projects at South Middle School that are still
just,
not out for design and are very small percentages in that design process. And just sort of bring those back in front of the board, and then we can take a look at that and get some additional feedback on what those pieces look like. We can absolutely do that. Other feedback?
What kind of community sentiment can we get or gather on
Mhm.
some of these projects? If we're gonna look at revisiting some of this, what kind of community input can we
Mhm.
gather?
Well,
Putting it out there.
That's a really
I-
good point.
I think that is a good point. And I know that that's something that we've talked about in regards to the Early Childhood Center. Do you, and so we've talked a little bit to Nexus about the possibility for some community input on that. Do you want to?
Yeah, I appreciate the conversation and I apologize for stepping back up to the podium. But I thought that I could share some insight of what we've done with other districts, you know, when there's been tough conversations about community buildings or, you know, which directions to go. Some of those tactics that we've used to engage with the community have been things like polling. And so if that's something that the district is interested in, again, as I've said, we've worked with a company, a very credible company, the Morris Leatherman Group, and what they do is it's their goal to, you know, work with any community, and it's really of any size. The goal is to get 400 randomized polling samples from community members. They have a very great system of how they get that database. They actually use utility database, so it's not through voting records. They go through utility databases, and they truly have a randomized sampling of 400 different community members. And the way that they build this polling kind of questionnaire is they start off at that very high kind of 30,000 foot view, so that it's a true response that they're getting back when they ask certain questions. Obviously, these questions come forth before the administration and the board, and we work and make sure that the questions that you desire to get feedback on are included in this questionnaire or in this poll. But the results that we receive, they have aided in multiple different districts, helping them strategically figure out how to move in certain directions and using scientific data, right? It's our job at Nexus to be consultative and to make sure we are supplying you with the right resources. And we truly believe in this kind of community engagement. There are a number of other things that we will do to help with community engagement to get you that feedback and that data. But I would definitely recommend having a discussion with this board, maybe in greater detail about what polling can do for you, because it truly will give you that scientific feedback and that data of where is the community's sense on certain items that the district is looking to have direction on. So whether that's questions about Perry, or maybe it's questions about early childhood, we would be able to sit down and craft this poll questionnaire together and make sure that we really truly provide you with an unbiased approach where we're giving you scientific data to help you make decisions.
What's the timeline on something like that?
That's a great question. So typically, this is all they do. This is their expertise. Recently, we were working with a district where the board, they were a little late to the game in making a decision to go out for polling. The district I'm referring to, they were looking for assistance in helping them make a decision for an operational referendum or an operational levy. And so they decided in December, I think it was the first week in December, that they did want to do a poll. But they also knew that they had to file the resolution by January 27th. So they had less than 6 weeks to get this done. Typically, the polling needs 2 weeks for the phone calls to occur. We can sit down and based on timelines, right, they're very good at meeting the needs of the districts that they work with. Preferably, we would love a 6-month or a 6-week time frame so that we can sit down, bring the polling company in and sit down and work with the administration, have a conversation with the board, make sure that we have the right questions in the poll for you. And then, like I said, the polling would take place over 2 weeks. They need about a week to pull the report together, and then we would be able to come back and present those findings to the group. And as I said, it's amazing at how they can tell you a story based on this communication and the feedback that they're getting. And they're extremely accurate. They will tell you that whatever the response is, you can pretty much bank on that, plus or minus 5%. And they go into all the different atmospherics. They go into the different demographics. They really help explain how the science works behind the polling. But I feel very confident that based off of the data that I've seen, it has led districts to make decisions based off of science and data, based on what their community says. And it helps take some of that emotion out of it. And that is our goal, is to help provide you with real data. And so we would be happy to bring you additional information regarding what that looks like, and kind of more timeline. But yes, it's something that we would be happy to help engage this district in, and I think it would help direct you and making some of those tough decisions. Questions on polling? I'm happy to answer anything right now, but
response and something like that, then there would be just a district survey.
yes,
I feel like all the time.
Yeah, I can talk.
Ignore them because they get them all the time.
I can talk a little bit about the surveying and the difference. Definitely there are certain districts where surveying is applicable and it makes sense. What we've seen is that typically the response when you send out an opt-in survey, the science shows that the people taking the survey either strongly really feel one way about it or another way about it. It's very hard to get people that aren't vested in what you're asking them to take an opt-in survey. And so typically the response rate, although very good and can still provide the board and the district with accurate data, it doesn't give you as much direction or as much scientific data as what a polling would do. Definitely surveys are useful and they have purpose, but I think based off of what we've heard, the data you're looking for as a team and as a board, we would recommend going the polling route because we think it would provide you with more direct information.
And what would the cost for?
That's a great question. So when you partnered with Nexus, you partnered with us to provide these services at risk. And so that's something that Nexus incurs. The cost is something that we would provide or that we would incur and we would take on for the district. And so the district would not have to have anything come out of their pockets. It would be something that Nexus feels we really need to invest in understanding what the community, what their feelings are. We understand the challenges that the board and that the district has faced in the past. And we truly believe in getting consensus and getting information back from your community so that we can provide that to you. And so as part of our service to you and making sure that we can get you that accurate data, and it's not just coming from our team, this is what our recommendation would be, and it would be our expense that we would incur to make sure that we do that for you.
How would a poll look, or how would that process work?
Yeah, it's a great question. So Peter Leatherman is the gentleman that we use from Morris Leatherman. He sits down and they have a good template based off of obviously all the work that we've done. We worked with the Green Bay School District recently and they had about a year ago a number of different questions that they needed help and direction on. They had about 6 or 7 different schools that they were looking to consolidate or close. And so the polling really works because you're able to craft those questions. We start out, like I said, with very broad questions, getting some atmospherics, getting some demographics, just getting kind of a baseline for where people are in your community. And then we dig into more specific questions. We're not asking them immediately a direct question about A, B, or C. We really want to help build a story and ask them certain questions about where they are from a community's perspective on investment and where they would like to see the district go and make decisions. The way that the survey is crafted will get you that very direct data that you're looking for, but they do it in a way that doesn't lead the respondent to give kind of one or the other answer. They don't know what questions they're going to be asked when they pick up the phone. So when this randomized polling comes out, they do not know that they are taking, initially, they do not know that they are taking a call as it pertains to the Belvedere District 100 school district. So this is their job. They do this all the time. They commit to whether you have a community of 5,000 or a community of 50,000, they commit to getting 400 different randomized people to take their survey or their poll via telephone. Typically, it takes about 10 minutes to go through the questions that the pollsters ask. In the district that we were just presenting at on Monday night, they had, it's a smaller district, but they had a number of community members that wanted to spend 45 minutes on the phone with them once they kind of figured out what was going on. And so the information, again, provided, or the questions that are asked in this poll give you this information that you are, I think, so desiring to help you make some of these decisions. So that process, again, we sit down with the district, we craft those questions, obviously go through the template that the pollsters have. We would verify and adopt that those are the questions you want to be asked during this randomized poll. We let the pollsters work their magic. This is something that is done all over the country, in every different city. It's very similar to GOP polls and things like that. So they know what to do and how to get the information. And then after that 2-week polling window, they develop the data, and then we would bring a report back to the board. And Peter Leatherman, again, the way that he is able to help you make some decisions based off of this information, I think will really be insightful and eye-opening. So I'm excited for that process if the board decides to go in that direction. What I can also do is provide a sample of a poll that has been done in another district. I'd be happy to share the presentation and then the actual data that's come out of one of the other districts that we've worked with so that you can see an example of what that looks like and what you could expect to see happen in Belvedere.
And sort of to your question, Ms. Young, I mean, there's some urgency to move this along at a relatively quick pace. I think I could meet with Mr. Herrera and Mr. Dieselmeyer and sort of process this feedback, and we could provide some information to you. So in February's board meeting, maybe
Absolutely.
we have something for the board to take a look at.
Absolutely.
We could maybe have some input with business services. Is that Mrs. Armstrong? Were you?
No, I wanted to know if it was okay if I asked a question, but you
Oh,
can.
It is definitely okay if you ask me a question, but I think we can put together some of those pieces. We know we are looking for some feedback on the
Yep,
possibility of an
absolutely.
early childhood center. And I think we want to revisit, the board would like to see some of the detail with Washington, Perry, and South Middle School. The other
Absolutely.
projects are already underway. We are not looking for feedback on those projects. Is that an accurate statement? So we'll look at those pieces. I'll work with Mr. Herrera and Mr. Diestelmeyer on those next steps. So when we come back next month, we can get some feedback on what that might look like.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And in the meantime, I'm happy to provide a sample from another district so
Yes,
that you
Lauren, if
guys
you
can
wouldn't
see what
mind,
that
yeah,
looks
that'd
like.
be great if you could send it.
I would
That'd be
Absolutely.
perfect.
It's wonderful data. I'm excited for you all to see it.
And we think 400 is a lot.
400 is the magic number. So like I said, I've asked that question and it's incredible, but they said genuinely, it does not matter the size of the district, whether it's a rural or urban, 400 is the number that they need to get their data. Asking more or getting less really doesn't move that needle. So I believe that they've been doing it maybe 35 years and that is the formula that works. So I would be happy to have when Mr. Leatherman is here, or even if he can zoom in, possibly at another board meeting, he can answer more specific questions about how his firm does that. But it's incredible the science that goes into it and how accurate their data is and that they stand behind it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, yeah, and they say this, yes. Yes.
Ultimately, that's my question.
Yes,
And that's-
please.
We talked about this very broad, just to get
Yep.
community input on EC and possible phase 2 projects.
Yes.
So we didn't dive into this and wasn't thinking about doing it like right now,
Mhm.
but. not-
It's incredible. I know.
We don't answer unknown calls. I mean, that's just who. society
Absolutely.
is now. You see an unknown caller, you don't answer it. You go to voicemail. or whatever.
You are not wrong. It is incredible. I don't have the science behind it, but we were working in another district, genuinely, it's Gillett, Wisconsin, so small little community. They said there's no way we can even get 400 people. They, through their atmospherics, again, how they get their data is through a utility company, through a utility database. They actually know in your community how many landlines are in your community, how many homes just have cell phones, how many homes have a combination of both. And their team has figured out, there was a gentleman in the audience on Monday evening's board, and he said, did you guys try calling from a Waukesha number? Because I got like 5 calls from a Waukesha, Wisconsin. He said, no, that wasn't from us, but they make our job harder. But they have the list of people that they talk to. They have those conversations recorded, and they hit 400 people. They guarantee it. So I am happy to have Mr. Leatherman talk through that, but it surprises me. It's the question I ask. It was the first question I asked, and I think it is. If it's not the first question out of a board's mouth or out of an admin's team's mouth, it would blow my mind, because that is genuinely how do people answer the phone again to numbers that they don't know, or if it says charity call or spam risk. These people figure out how to get a hold of you and how to get you to answer these questions. And so kudos to them, hats off to them. And I am happy to share their report and have Mr. Leatherman either via Zoom or in person to answer some of these great questions that you have that I unfortunately don't have all the secret answers to. But great questions.
Why do you say that under consideration is only limited to things that are not currently in the design phase?
We can do whatever the board would like to do. So I mean, we have the pieces that are in, here, maybe we can show the slide
Yes.
with the schools. We have those that have the 100% of the design